and welcome to this live stream all about the GoHealth community. I'm just making sure that we are live on Facebook and we're live on YouTube. So it's Hogmanay. I'm from Scotland. We call the 31st of December Hogmanay, or Old Year's Day. And it's always been a really special time of the year to me. I used to always have a great time in Hogmanay. I enjoy from a young age sort of looking back on the year that's been and coming up with some resolutions. I wasn't always so good at keeping them, but every year I like to use this day to set some goals for the year ahead, to reflect on what I've learned from the year gone by and what a year it's been in 2020. There's so much stuff on the internet right now about, I wish we could skip 2020. It's been such a terrible year. No one saw it coming. And it's been all those things, hasn't it? It's been, so many people have had their lives turned upside down, and so many people have died. And when I set out to do a live broadcast this time last week, I thought I'll do something on Hogmanay, because for me it's such an important time for thinking about the future. I never thought that we would be waking up. In the United Kingdom, I'm waking up in the Tier 4 area. I know many of you have been impacted all over Christmas, and it's getting worse for many of us. The death rate is going up, and it is a really frightening time for us, particularly for key workers, for teachers, and for anyone who's ill right now with COVID or separated from loved ones who are suffering with the illness. So what a day to look back. And I think there's maybe it's instinct just to say, well, let's just forget about 2020 and look ahead. And I think that's missing an opportunity. I think I put something on Twitter yesterday about asking people what good has emerged this year. And there has been good stuff. I know for me personally, I have spent more time with my family than I ever thought I would have, and I've learned to be with them in a completely different way. I have spent more time in nature, doing more walks, and if it's not too cheesy, I found out again, rediscovered what's really important about relationships and friendships, about the importance of doing things for other people. We've seen through the fallacy of uninhibited materialism, and we've maybe in a different way, an unexpected way, an unwelcome way, nobody wanted this. We've been able to get back to basics. And for me as a priest, for the Guild of Health and St. Raphael, we've also been able to get back to basics about what we're about, which is talking about Christian spiritual healing. And a lifetime ago, before 2020, when I talked about the Guild of Health and St. Raphael, I would spend a long time making the case that as Christians, or as people who sort of believe in God, we should be paying attention to health and healing. And I would argue that theologically, I'd look at the history of the church, I'd point to the development of the hospitals as coming directly out of Christian ministry in the medieval period. I talk about how Christian spiritual healing isn't about magical cures and miracles for getting better necessarily, but it's about finding our real purpose of life. And I tried to sell it. That was my job. That's what I felt my job was. But with the pandemic, it has been made abundantly clear that the Christian spiritual healing ministry, which is a fancy way of simply saying that believing in God helps us to flourish in our life, is important. The pandemic has slammed us into that reality. We can't buy our way out of this. We can't bargain our way out of this. But we can seek God in the suffering of what we're going through and ask God to help us amidst this terrible suffering and pandemic and uncertainty, to help us to flourish in what we're going through. And out of all this emerged and crystallized the GoHealth community, which is what I wanted to chat to you about today. There is on Twitter, on Facebook, in the normal media, there are 100 different companies trying to sell you a program to make 2021 your best year yet. There's diet programs, there's exercise programs, there's run a marathon in January, get ready for being beach body perfect, whatever it is. And so I'm joining in, but only because I think the GoHealth community, what we offer in paying attention to the spiritual life, connecting this to our physical lives and connecting us into the community as well, is the best one out there. Because if we look after ourselves, we look after other people, and we can help the community to flourish. The Christian spiritual life is not about making us better. It's about making the world better. And the world so needs people who have faith in God and who want to make a difference. And that's what the GoHealth community is all about. So I want to tell 3 different stories about what the GoHealth community is. Basics first, it's membership of the Guild of Health in St. Raphael. We've been around for over 100 years. This is the new look membership. It's doing what we've always done. It's gathering together a group of people who sort of believe that praying makes a difference, makes a blooming bit of difference in how we live. Members of GoHealth Community get access to a whole pile of resources, all of which are now configured for this weird world we're living in, where we spend half our life talking at a computer. So it's for real church, but also for hybrid church. It's for us stuck at home, wondering how to connect with God and with one another when we can't leave the house. But it's also really paying attention to the world. So resources that help us take the world seriously and take our faith seriously. It comes with private membership of a Facebook group where we try to do this all together. And for your membership fee, which is just £4 a month, you're supporting us in our mission to try to make the world flourish, make the world a better place because of faith in God. So many faith organizations, they silo it. They say it's all about morning and evening prayer. That's all you need to do. Or it's another club which is all about health and fitness and becoming fit. Or it's all about alternative care. In the GoHealth community, we have always taken science seriously. We take our faith seriously. We take medicine seriously. We take the wonderful knowledge and connection we can have through the arts seriously. We take each other seriously. So it's a genuine, holistic way to engage with the world and to engage with ourselves. So it's a membership organisation that you'll be supporting through just £4 a month, plus you get all these resources along with it. So that's what it is on the ground. You can go to our website, gohealth.org.uk, to find out more about it. But I want to tell you the story of what it's about. And if you're watching live, if you have any questions, just join in. Tell me where you're listening from. It'd be nice to know who's listening to me right now. And I'm on YouTube as well. So any questions you have about it, or about the spiritual life, or about praying for healing, or about, I don't know, exercising and looking after your body as a Christian, or should I take the vaccine as a Christian, or what questions do you have about merging together the Christian faith with living in this complex world? Stick them on the chat and we can have a conversation about it. Well, I want to tell you 3 different stories about the GoHealth community. The first story is the historic one, why we're doing this. The Guild of Health in St. Raphael was formed in 1905, and right from the beginning, it's been an organisation of Christians who want to take the healing ministry seriously in the world that they're living with. So it's about taking that command of Jesus to go make disciples and to heal seriously. So really praying for people when they're ill, but really understanding what healing actually means. Sometimes it means a miraculous recovery, but sometimes that physical recovery doesn't come for a long time. Sometimes it doesn't come at all, but we can still talk about healing because the person is able to move into deeper understanding of their situation and a relationship with God. Since 1905, there's been a group of radical Christians who believe that faith makes a difference to everyday life, but also paying attention to science, psychotherapy, psychology. So it's been an extraordinary organisation. So I've seen articles in our archive going back to the early part of the 20th century called Health and Healing, Mind, Body and Spirit. Now you'd see that in the magazine shelves today. So our organisation has always said, what is science, psychology, the arts, all the different branches of human study, telling us about what it means to be alive today and how we can connect to ourselves, how we can connect to God. So it's always taken the world really seriously. And we've done that in all sorts of different ways through the ages. And the GoHealth Community is the iteration we have today. So we doing things online a lot more. So coronavirus has meant a lot of us are much more adept at being on Zoom calls, interacting on the media. All of our resources are now available both to print out and hold on to, if that's what you like. That's what I like, actually. Or to be done online. And we do things through an online learning platform called Moodle, and we have PDFs you can download. So GoHealth Community is simply what the Guild of Health has always done. And so if you join the GoHealth Community today, you are getting over 100 years of knowledge, wisdom and history. And it's not just me, obviously. We have already hundreds of members around the country, some internationally. And we've got an amazing board of trustees who are helping to shape and guide what the Guild is today. We have hospice chaplains. We have psychologists and psychotherapists. We have medical doctors. We have specialists in pain medication. We have people who understand diversity. We have people who understand communications. And this group of people, as well as our members, are shaping the Guild today. So this isn't a done deal. I read loads of leadership books, and the leadership books I like are ones that are really flat, because I strongly believe the Guild of Health in St. Raphael belongs to our members, and we are doing the work of God. So as we're producing resources, we've looked ahead. I work with a great team of people. We've got some resources planned for 2021, but we only sort of go up the first 6 months. We want to hear from you. What would you like information about? What would you like training in? What would you like in your back pocket, as it were, to face the complexity of the world today? Do you want something on prayer? What happens if my prayers don't work, in inverted commas? Should I take the vaccine? Why is this virus spread? So what about psychotherapy? How does psychotherapy and faith interrelate together? I love going for a run as a Christian, but I'm told I need to concentrate on my spiritual life. How do I mix together my belief that I want to keep physically healthy with my spiritual life? I love being in nature. It makes me feel better. What is the theological and spiritual reasons for being in nature, and how does that link to our health today? I've been diagnosed with a terminal condition. How do I cope with this? What resources do you need today to negotiate the life that you're living in? Join our community, and I will work with my amazing team and help to support them. So the Guild of Health in St. Raphael has been here for over 100 years, helping people negotiate the complex world. And isn't our world complex today? And this is what we're continuing to do. The second story I want to tell you about the GoHealth Community is what's happened in the last 9 months. So we had a plan. I've been running the Guild of Health in St. Raphael for 5 years, and we were facing sharp decline, financial problems, and I spent lots of my time talking to people of faith, people on the edges of the church, listening to their stories, listening to what they wanted out of the church, what they weren't getting, the gaps in their lives. So I would say, January, you go to the magazine shelf. What magazine do you buy? How do you want to improve your life right now? And how can the Guild support you in what you're doing? And how do we together spread the love of Christ? That's always been the mission of the Guild. So I went around for a few years asking these questions, trying to work out, importantly, where were the gaps in the world today? What were people missing? What were people needing? I then looked at the aims and objectives of our organisation, which go right back to 1905, and ask a serious question: are these still relevant? And I found that yes, they were. That people still wanted us to pray when things go wrong. We have a prayer facility on our website, and it's been heartbreaking and eye-opening to see the prayers that have come in digitally over the Christmas period. People still want a group of Christians to lift up their prayers to our healing and our loving Creator God. That's still wanted. People still want Christians to be engaging with science and medicine, because so often people think they have to choose. Do I go to the doctor or do I go to church? I prayed a bit, didn't work. Let's give up on that. People really want a need group of people who are engaging seriously with the medical science, the world around us, and relating it to their faith. I also saw, as I went round, lots of nurses and doctors and healthcare professionals who were Christian, yet didn't know quite how to negotiate their faith with their job. We welcome with open arms any healthcare professional who's Christian and juggling these questions in the GoHealth community, but also in our CRISM, which is our professional arm of the Guild of Health in St. Raphael. And we saw within the churches, actually, there was a great deal of ambivalence and uncertainty about praying for healing. Our job in the Guild of Health in St. Raphael still wasn't completed. So we decided to reform what we did, came up with a church-based project called the Healthy Healing Hub Project, and decided to really focus on our individual membership to equip our members with resources and articles and support and a community to help them negotiate the world and to spread the love of God. And so the GoHealth Community was born. And that's the second story about the GoHealth Community. That's how it came about. The third story is much more personal. I believe that through the help of my trustees and my staff, that we have created in the GoHealth team something that I would want to have joined, how long ago now? 17 years ago, when I was diagnosed with advanced cancer as a 21-year-old. I really struggled to try to relate what I was going through with potentially deadly disease with my faith at the time, that I was made in love by God. How do I reconcile being told my body was in effect killing itself with my faith that God loved me and everything would be okay? And you know, it was a long story, a long struggle, but eventually I found healing not only through a whole pile of cytotoxic chemicals and radiation, through the love of my family, through friendship, through faith, through time in nature, through retreats, through all sorts of different ways. I found what I would call some kind of healing, but it wasn't quick, it wasn't obvious, but it changed my life. And when putting together with my team the GoHealth Community, I wanted to resource people who were facing real struggles in their life. Struggles that we like to sweep under the carpet often. Any problems in the family, mental health problems, abuse, discrimination, exclusion, struggles. Those kind of things we keep in our back pockets and we don't often tell other people about. But they genuinely hold us back in our relationship with ourselves and our relationship with God. So I wanted to form a community of people who supported each other, who took the world seriously, who wasn't afraid to engage with science and medicine, who wanted to be open and balance that kind of scientific and open way of looking with the world with that important childlike faith that God loves us and that everything's going to be okay. And to do that well is not obvious. And we need to engage all the time, I think, with what the world is telling us and what we can do. And the GoHealth Community is something I would have loved 17 years ago and onwards. And so the GoHealth Community isn't just join this and get this stuff. It is that. You get a whole pile of resources, PDF downloads of books, that can help you in your spiritual journey. You will get online training, you will get beautiful prayer resources. But what I wanted to do more was to form a group of people who would support each other and that together we could work to change the world. Which sounds a bit idealistic, I realize that now. But it's still something that I am passionate about, because if we just in our imaginations go outside in our heads right now, and all those people who are stuck at home alone. I've had over 20 prayer requests come in over Christmas time. The GoHealth community is there to pray for all those people who are alone and afraid, who have had relatives die in COVID wars apart from them. We are here for those people and to spread the love of God to them, that you are never alone, you are always held, and God is with you. We stretch our minds to the growing mental health problem in the world. Maybe you have suffered from mental health problems or are struggling right now. It would be a bit strange if you weren't suffering from some kind of mental health problem right now because of what we're going through. We will resource you with good articles and the support that we all need to figure that out. There's so much need in the world right now, and the GoHealth community is one that equips us to be lights for Christ in the world around us. Now, it's not just for sworn up die-hard Christians, whatever that might mean. I think there's a huge range, a spectrum of what it means. And some of the most Christian, in inverted commas, people I've ever met would never darken the door of a church. They spend their life working for others and loving others, and maybe institutional religion is not for them. The GoHealth community is for anyone who thinks that faith in God makes a bit of difference in their life. Prayer, for some people it's down on your knees every night at the same time. For some people it happens in church. For other people it happens on a hill when the wind's blowing in their hair and they suddenly get a sense that everything's going to be okay. It's seeing an ambulance and thinking, my God, be with them. It is simply getting up in the morning and trying again for other people. So we don't define in a doctrinal, ecclesiastical way who's a member. But if you think that there's more than just our bodies and just our minds, the GoHealth community is here to support you. Membership is via our website, and as soon as you're in, I'll let you into our GoHealth private group on Facebook, where we can work together to promote this. So if there's any questions about the GoHealth community, feel free to email me. You can get in contact with me via the website under the contact form there. I take this opportunity to wish you well for the end of 2020. Spend some time maybe reflecting on what's been good. And may I commend to you the GoHealth community. We'd love to have you on board so we can support one another. In January, for example, we have got some great resources. Wendy Lloyd, who is our resource creation lead, is developing some resources to help us all get through January, which is going to be a long, hard month. We've got an article on maintaining good mental health from Ben Evans from Human Talk, and other articles supporting Christian engagement with the world as it is, not as we'd like it to be. So the GoHealth community is just £4 a month. It's the price of a fancy coffee. You get community, you get articles, you get online training. You get a place where you are welcome and where you can ask all sorts of open questions. And together you also get to support our work to spread the healing love of God in the world today. It's an awesome mission, and I would love to have you on board. If you have any questions, do drop me a line on the website, and go to our website gohealth.org.uk and click on the GoHealth community to find out how you can get involved.